Welcome back. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about emergent and early literacy. Emergent literacy is a process involving the development of language and concepts, especially when connected with young children's experiences starting at birth. Communication and the expression of ideas are first steps on the journey to literacy. This process may include listening, speaking, signing, writing, using gestures, and other ways in which children comprehend and communicate their experiences and knowledge of the world. Language development is a key factor in establishing a foundation for literacy, and young children need a safe, nurturing, healthy, and print-rich environment to learn. Interaction at an early age with caring adults prepares children for a successful oral language development. Reading aloud, discussions, singing, dramatic play, and story time are strategies to develop language and literacy skills. Children should be guided and supported by caring adults starting at birth to eventually become independent readers and writers. The International Literacy Association and the National Council of Teachers of English publish standards for the English language arts, which describe the 6 language arts: reading, writing, speaking, listening, viewing, and visually representing. Visual representation and viewing have increased dramatically due to digital media. Learning occurs through active engagement of the child's cognitive, social, emotional, and physical aspects of self, as noted in the holistic model of literacy. The cognitive aspect of self is enhanced through the critical thinking, problem-solving, play, decision-making, and expression of ideas. The social-emotional bond between caring adults and a child is strengthened during activities such as lap reading and the cuddle read. Physical development is supported through the manipulation of objects using the 5 senses, such as making words with magnetic letters or writing in the sand. Effective and appropriate literacy practices for each age group, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9, guide children's literacy development. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about emergent and early literacy. Emergent literacy implies that children learn to read and write while they are developing their foundational literacy skills, such as alphabet knowledge, sight words, and concepts about print. Early literacy refers to beginning stages of reading and writing. Young children must learn to recognize the 26 letters in the English alphabet, including capital and lowercase letters, as well as individual consonant and vowel sounds. They must also memorize over 300 sight words, which are words that appear frequently in all beginning readers. These words cannot be decoded and have no meaning of their own. A concept of print awareness is an understanding of print and how print works. As children become more proficient in learning to read and write, their confidence soars after each step until they become comfortable with their new skills, such as alphabet knowledge and sight vocabulary. When beginning to read and write, children use these skills as a literacy toolbox. The goals for literacy teachers is to build a love of learning and curiosity so that each child is motivated to read and write independently. Parents need to help children in their literacy adventures by validating their accomplishments and providing the support for their children to succeed. There are 2 distinct views on early reading and writing instruction: emergent literacy and scientifically based reading research. Proponents of emergent literacy believe that teaching phonemic awareness is unnecessary because children learn the skills best from being read to, listening to poems and stories with lots of rhyme, rhythm, and repetition, whereas scientifically based reading research advocates insist that children should be taught how to rhyme, segment, blend, and manipulate sounds through systematic, explicit instruction. The aspects of language development integrate all 3 parts of the self: cognitive, social, emotional, and physical. Oral language develops in a nurturing environment that promotes reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Children imitate adults and peers when they hear words read from books or hear others telling a story or through dialogue. Language acquisition involves purposeful communication. Many variables impact language acquisition, including family, structure, cultural and linguistic diversity, socio-cultural heritage, and physical abilities. Children use language for various reasons to express their ideas, communicate their feelings, or gain information. Early literacy strategies are used to further develop reading and writing skills in young children, such as shared reading or shared writing, based on the language experience approach. The premise of the language experience approach is that children learn to read from text that consists of their own words or language. Emergent literacy, when children develop an understanding of letters and sounds, is the beginning of the reading process, which involves decoding and comprehension skills. The reading process consists of 5 stages: pre-reading, reading, responding, exploring, and applying. Young readers experience all 5 stages of the reading process in their journey to become fluent readers. During the reading process, children use their decoding skills and vocabulary to read and comprehend the text. Fluent readers are better able to comprehend the text because of their word identification and decoding skills. When readers are struggling with texts, they may need to slow down or back up and reread a passage until it makes sense. They may cross-check or use multiple decoding strategies with unfamiliar words using their language cueing systems. English has 4 language cueing systems that are based on creating meaning through socially shared conventions: graphophonics, or phonological, semantics, syntactic, and pragmatic. The graphophonic cueing system refers to the word spelling and sounds. The semantic cueing system is the meaning of the word. The syntactic cueing system is the syntax, which is the word order or sentence structure. The pragmatic cueing system details with the social aspects of language use, which vary among ethnic groups and geographic regions. These language variations are known as dialects. Good readers use all 4 cueing systems automatically when they read and write. They read fluently, decode words into meaningful chunks, make personal connections, use pictures and context clues, reread for understanding, and ask questions during the reading process. Early literacy development is guided by initial reading experiences, and therefore, it is critical that parents participate in this process for young children's future success in reading. Reading is central to a child's life and therefore should have a prominent place in a child's home and classroom. A literacy-rich home environment that nurtures young readers promotes early motivation for reading and writing. Reading motivation through a supportive home environment encourages young children to read what they love and love what they read. Children in the developmental stages of literacy need to experience engaging storytelling, reading environments, interactive picture books, and literacy-supported technology. Toddlers learn to recognize letters and words when interacting with sounds, colors, shapes, forms, and textures through the 5 senses, and this builds their literacy foundation. Educators of young children should be familiar with the principles of effective literacy instruction. Storytelling is an interactive process among children and teachers to build self-identity. At-risk learners, such as English language learners and students with disabilities, benefit from this process because it facilitates their cognitive abilities when they are participating. The eclectic and interactive atmosphere appeals to all types of learners because storytelling uses their cognitive, emotional, and psychomotor skills. Storytelling strategies are enhanced through a colorful and comfortable reading environment. Having a colorful rug area that invites children to sit for story time encourages and excites young readers. Reading areas within your classroom are important. Teachers can create spaces with colorful pictures, interesting chairs, a variety of books, and inspirational props or objects. These areas invite children to actively engage in reading and discussion, which encourages independent reading behaviors. Readers are attracted to bright, bold, colorful, and moving visual imagery. Often, the illustrations are what attract children to read the book. Details in the illustrations may extend concepts and storylines apparent in the text. Age-appropriate text helps ensure successful reading development, but books must excite and motivate young readers. Identifying with book characters and plot situations validates the reader's feelings and emotions. When children identify with characters and events in a story, they realize that their circumstances and feelings are not unique. Visual imagery enhances their recognition of letter, words, and sentences in texts. Illustrations are bridges connecting action and the images to text. The path to literacy success is embellished through the art in the picture books. Young children are drawn to technology in today's society. As children gain an understanding of letters and sounds associated with letters and words, software programs lead them to correct answers. New programs for young children are constantly being developed, and keeping up with the latest technology is both important for teachers and parents. With the many types of handheld devices in our modern times, technology can be used anywhere and anytime. Curriculum development and instruction for young children involves sensory and hands-on engagement activities. Children acquire learning on their own by building schema into what they already know, as well as social interaction and connecting the known to the unknown. By providing an external caring environment that promotes internal awareness and comprehension, teachers facilitate constructivist learning activities such as storytelling, dramatic play, bookmaking, and music. Now let's review what we've learned. Early literacy is important because children are building their literacy foundations as a developmental process through the 6 language arts: reading, writing, speaking, listening, viewing, and visually representing. Children develop knowledge, a passion for reading and writing, and interactive play through effective literacy practices, as illustrated in the holistic model of literacy. They learn literacy skills by expanding their prior knowledge and developing their speaking and listening vocabularies. Children develop their own understandings based upon their cultural and linguistic backgrounds, imagination, prior knowledge, and experiences. Family involvement and effective instructional strategy support language development and acquisition in the reading process. Language development is affected by issues such as family structure, cultural and linguistic diversity, sociocultural heritage, and physical abilities. Early literacy skills are developed through nurturing classrooms and home environments. Children are supported during the reading process to become fluent readers who use all 4 language cueing systems. Storytelling and reading at home and at school provide practice with oral language. Interactive experiences such as visiting libraries, museums, or parks expose children to new environments that build knowledge and connections to the world. Parents and family members should take an active role in their children's literacy development through these activities. Caring adults who are engaged readers and writers provide invaluable role models for young children. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about emergent and early literacy. See you next time.